Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do a follow-up amendment video to the video I recently released about a very simple NQ setup that we could use overnight. I wanted to point out two nuances that are worth calling out, as they can also help you catch a nice move if the initial setup doesn't present itself. Before we get started, I'll leave several discount codes for trading services I use in the description, including TradeEdX, Voland, and Elite Trader Fund. Lastly, if you enjoy this content, don't forget to like and subscribe to help me grow this channel. It really does help the channel grow and it means a lot. All that being said, let's just get right into it. So the thing I wanted to point out was that, first of all, sometimes when you're looking at your futures broker, and in this case I'm using TradeView, which has a very phenomenal volume profile, which is actually far superior to TradingView's, sometimes the POC, I want to point out December 9th here, which we can see the POC is up here at 11,775. It actually did not get reached the following day until market open, so this was not a valid setup. And it actually is in line with TradingView, just to show here, right around 11,775. They're slightly off, but close enough where it doesn't really matter. Now, sometimes if you're looking at your actual futures broker, it might be TradeView, it might be NinjaTrader, whatever you're using, the volume profile on your futures broker might show a different POC. And if that happens, that's perfectly okay. I would actually suggest going with what your futures broker is showing. They tend to use tick data, which is more accurate. So I just wanted to specifically call that out. That might help you get an additional setup on a particular night if TradingView's POC is different and it's further away from the opening price action. The other thing I wanted to call out was this area down here. So you can see I marked it with this yellow rectangle, which I'll actually just hide briefly here. And so when we're looking at the volume profile, we see we actually have several high volume node areas that stick out from the day prior. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, we're looking for a price action to touch the POC area prior to market open to capitalize on that trade and try to collect our minimum of 10 points. Now, we can see here, though, closer to the opening price action. So we had a sell-off end of day, and we opened down here. And that's quite a ways away from 775. It's very unlikely in overnight price action that we're going to climb 125 points to reach that. However, what we do have, and this is what I highlighted, is we have another high volume node area right in this region, right around 11,722. So, and if we actually zoom in here, this can help see this better. Okay, so we could see these ledges right in here is what I'm concerned with. So if we actually highlight this, so I'll just show my drawings again, and we could see that I have the highlighter at ledge to ledge, which I mentioned in the previous video. In case you're not sure what I'm talking about, definitely go check that out because this is just an amendment video. Now, if we scroll to the right, this is much closer to the opening price action. What happens is we do end up opening, and then right around 5:30 a.m., we get several wick tests in this area. Wick test, wick test, wick test, wick test, and we actually are presented with several opportunities to capitalize off this trade. Now, if you're sitting limit orders in the wicks and you're putting proper stops, you have plenty of breathing room here to take an entry, and you could see that, and this is just my standard bracket setup, we can actually see that in this case, we have my stop losses are up here, my take profits are down here. This trade actually would have worked out two or three times really, and in both times we would have caught a minimum of 10 points there. And now if we would have held that into open, which is something I don't typically like doing, but so if we caught this around 8:30, somewhere around 8:30, 8:45, these are 30-minute candles, so it's not showing here. But if we had caught this going into the open and we decided to hold going into open, we could see that we would have caught around 30 points there, which would have been a big hit. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out, that when the price action is opening up far away from the POC, we can look to the high volume node areas that are close to the POC. Ideally, they're pretty close. The deltas that are jetting out are pretty close to the area that you're looking at in order to catch a nice trade. And then of course we want to use price action confirmation to confirm that we are seeing a hold, because this was a nice run up here which can be a little scary. And it's not until we start getting these doji wick rejections and on a lower time frame that would be indicated by wick rejections as well, and we can take our trades with proper stop loss and proper profit. Proper profit targets. It's very hard to say, and catch some nice trades off that. So, just wanted to point that out. I'll be back with another video soon, and I appreciate you watching.